Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget is definitely a good film. This was released last year in 2023. It's directed by Sam Fell, and we have an amazing voice cast including Thandiwe, Zachary, Levi, Imelda Staunton, David Bradley, Jane Horrocks, Romesh Ranganathan, Peter Serafinowicz, Miranda Richardson. I could go on. Brilliant voice cast and a pretty great story that's mostly funny, but obviously with a really important message as well about how not to treat chickens. This focuses on a chicken called Molly. She is the daughter of Ginger and Rocky, and she goes off on an adventure that first seems like it's going to be tremendous fun, but then it puts her into a very dangerous situation. What I will say before I go any further, there won't be any spoilers here, but I think it's worth noting that I like the first Chicken Run film. I haven't seen it in quite a while, and first of all, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to have just watched the first film to be able to follow this. But I also don't hold the first film in as high a regard as some people. I know for a lot of people, it's one of their childhood favourites. They've seen it many times and they love it. And I think their reviews might be different to mine. Either they will love it more or they might love it less. But I just want to make it clear that while I like the first film, I'm not one of those people who loved it as a child and watched it again and again. I did play the PlayStation game quite a bit, but I don't have that strong a relationship with the film. However, I do love Aardman in general, and I love stop motion in general, so I was really looking forward to it nevertheless, and it didn't disappoint. When Molly goes off, because they're living on this island, and Molly thinks there must be something else out there, and she goes to the mainland and she meets a character called Frizzle, who is an absolute delight. Really love her as a character, and they go on this truck to Funland Farms, which is, as far as we can see, an amusement park. And the design of Funland Farms is one of the best things I've ever seen. We have so many bright candy colours and fairground rides, and the chickens all seem to be having an amazing time. And it's just, the design of it I loved. All of my favourite scenes took place in this fun fair environment. And of course, this isn't really a fun fair. It's somewhere where the chickens are going before they get processed and get turned into nuggets. And there are these, well, I don't want to go into too much detail actually, but basically there's something that stops the chickens from fearing the situation, and Molly is suspicious that something like this is going on, and she's determined to find out what exactly is going on. And meanwhile, her parents and some of the other characters are trying to find her because they realize she's missing, and it's basically a race against time. And I will say no more about the narrative, but I think it's a really great film. The narrative develops really well. The pacing is incredible. It packs a lot in to, I think, an hour and 40 minutes, if I remember rightly, and a lot happens. But at the same time, it never felt like too much was happening, and there was always something to look at, something to enjoy or to be curious about. We have some really good music as well. My absolute favourite scene in the whole thing, I think, is the song, or the scene with the song Summer Holiday, because visually it was brilliant, the music was great. It's also a pretty important point in the film, but I won't say too much more about it. But when you get to the scene, you'll know which one I mean. So the music is great as well. Characters are all really likable. As I said, Frizzle is amazing, and I really liked Molly as well. So it was very easy to follow their journey and enjoy the narrative that unfolded from their perspectives. And visually, it's Aardman. It's Aardman quality. It's absolutely incredible, and Funland Farms just looks, the fairground part of it just looks so incredible. And part of me, I had a kind of weird thought where I thought that would be amazing to merchandise. If they don't merchandise that, that's a missed opportunity. But then I thought one step further and realised what it is they would be merchandising, and that's maybe not the best idea. I haven't actually looked to see what merchandise is available from this film, but I imagine there'll be some stuff, maybe figurines or something. Definitely a very fun film, but obviously with an important message about poultry farms or certain types of poultry farms and the treatment of chickens. And obviously, it takes the messages in the first film and ramps it up, basically. And it does feel like a bigger film. I'm going to assume it had a bigger budget. The budget information is not currently listed on Wikipedia, but it does look like there's a lot of money behind this. The quality is absolutely incredible, and everything about it was just brilliant. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Do I prefer it to the first film? Honestly, it's been so long since I saw the first film, I would need to watch that again. I feel like the first one is still, even though it was never a childhood favourite, I still feel like it's a little bit more nostalgic for me. Largely, as I said, because I did play the PlayStation 1 game. But this is a really great film. The quality is incredible, the narrative is brilliant, the characters are really likable, and with a great voice cast as well. So, no complaints from me. If you've been considering watching it, definitely check it out. And as I said, you don't need to have just watched the first film to be able to follow this, although of course I do recommend that you've at least seen the first film to be able to follow certain things that are happening in this. Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget is definitely a really good film, really thoroughly enjoyed watching it, and I'm happy to recommend it.